Okay. We got a little bit of music this time. Let me write in chat. Hold on. What should I put in here? Hello, welcome. Oh my goodness. Guess who doesn't have YouTube Premium? There we go. Is that too loud? I can't hear. Maybe a little lower. Can you hear me? Hello. Yes? Okay. Can you hear the music, or is that not heardable? I just wanted a bit of some background noise, because yesterday's is... No, not yesterday. It wasn't yesterday. Yes, both? Okay. Ouch. I accidentally smacked my screen. Okay. Well, welcome in. I'm gonna wait for some other people to get in, but... So I'm gonna start. Last time I streamed, I did this design, and I finished coloring it yesterday. So I made this illustration to color here. I have my chat over here in a separate phone, and some references over here as well. I came prepared this time. So last time I came with a mess because I used the wrong phone, but we're here this time. I keep smacking my hand in the screen. So, how are we going to start this? Well, first I'm gonna separate all of the colors and separate it from the base, because I made this base to separate it from the background. So we're going to just separate all the colors. We're gonna start with grayscale, and then we'll add the colors with overlay afterwards, because I want this piece to be more colorful oriented, and I feel like that's far more achievable with grayscale. I'll just show it. I'll just show it when I do. So, we're gonna start with the color picking. I'm gonna color pick the lighter color, not the darkest. And then we're gonna balance it out throughout. Okay, that's the wrong layer. Yeah. I already started on the wrong foot, guys. We were almost drew on the wrong layer. Damn, so many ads. See, this is why I don't... This is what happens when you don't have YouTube Premium, or ad block for that matter. There we go. A bit inconvenient. But that's fine. So I'm going to start by separating everything. A tedious process, but a very necessary one if we really want to have a proper understanding. Good way. Actually, I'll start with the more overwhelming, because this one is the more detailed area. So I'm going to select. To convert it to gray, I just drag it to the other side of the color where it's positioned. And that way it's easier to make it grayscale. Some people could just use the filter and grayscale it out, but I don't. I'd rather pick it myself than do it like separately. Hello, Karina, welcome. Hi. We're just doing a bit of some illustration over here. This drawing is going to be a textured one, so it's going to be a lot like my Sunday one, a lot like my albedo one. So they're going to be more textured and oriented rather than smooth like my usual art style. You are very good, thank you. I try anime graphic design sometimes. Oh, actually sounds really cool. How does it go for you? Is it going well? Manipulation sometimes? What? Oh lord. I don't know. I do it for fun. Well, yeah, that's good. It's better if you do it for fun, to be honest. It's gotta be... I use Ibis Paint for it. Oh. Well, that's interesting. I've always used Ibis Paint too for everything. It's kind of just a more accessible app. And it's easier to use. Okay, so I'm getting already... Ouch. I smacked my... Whoops. My poor... is it still vertical? Okay. Yeah, sorry. My device just locked on me for no reason. Photoshop is a better option because the lighting is better. Yeah. But when you don't have, like, the resources, I guess it's not really an option. It's definitely not an option for me. But Ibis Paint has more filters and features. Yeah, that I can see that being the case. I feel like most apps are a bit more limited as to what you can do. Or they're hid behind paywalls and things like that. And while Ibis Paint does have a few that are, it's not nearly as bad as some other ones. It's also just cheaper. The paywall is not that drastic. So I'm going to use this tool for the rest of this because it's not only just more efficient, it's just easier. I haven't listened to a Mori OST in so long. But it's very nice OST because they don't slap you with the copyright too much. Alongside Hoyoverse OST. I only use that airbrush. Really? I don't use the airbrush that much. I do for some areas, but even to erase stuff. What? How the heck are you gonna erase stuff with an airbrush? Is it like the hard airbrush or is it like the really thin one? It's good for lighting and stuff. Well, yeah, I can see that. I use it sometimes. And it's mostly for like gradients. It's just better. I don't know, the normal one? Okay, so you mean this airbrush. The airbrush normal. That's kinda crazy, actually. Alright, that's actually... Hello, welcome back, Bagel. Look, we're actually drawing this time. We're gonna try and not... I'm still gonna yap. But this time, I'm going to draw more while I yap. Because last time, I let go of the screen way too many times. I'm gonna be honest. I can yap while drawing. But for some reason, I would stop. Oh, who is this to look gorgeous? It's the design we were doing yesterday. You now recognize it? It's this. Oh my god, another ad. Bro. Yes, it is. I added the colors yesterday during the morning. I started painting it. I was going to make it a finished product, but I decided not to. So now it's just a rough draft of the design, and now I'm making a actual drawing with... Hey, I choked. Now I'm making an actual drawing out of it. The colors changed them so much. Yeah, I understand. The colors are drastically different, but that's kind of the point, right? Because if you're going to embody a concept, you kind of have to change the colors. The only reason you would know it's them, it's because of the scar, the eye type, and just the overall hairstyle. It's still similar, like, hold on. So the overall hairstyle is still the same. Like, if you look at it, he doesn't look that different. Slightly recognizable. It's not that bad. It's very good. In a bad way. Oh, whoops. That's too much. I have so many references in this thing. I have to, like, skim through it as fast as possible. I wish Ibis Paint could make deleting these things easier, or, like, us be able to manage what pictures you select based on the canvas you're using, because it's kind of piled with all kinds of references and it's so hard to skim through. It's very time consuming. To me, at least, it's very time consuming. I'ma go eat. Bye. Well, see ya. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good meal. So we're using this crappy tool to quickly and lazily speed run this area. We're making it grayscale oriented. I explained it earlier, but I'm gonna start with the grayscale because I want the drawing to be very saturated. But I feel like when doing saturated drawings, you need to do it just looks better using the gradients and overlays from a grayscale. If that makes any sense at all. Another ad. Jesus Christ. This pose is so gorgeous. Yeah, I just wanted to have like the sword going on. I really wanted to focus on that aspect because I wanted to make a drawing focusing on his face. But then I was like, that would look a little boring. I want to make it look a little bit interesting. Show off the sword open and stuff, because this version of the sword is the closed one. You know, that it can extend and be kind of like a whip of sorts. So I kind of wanted to show that off too. So we're going to try and speedrun this. Why did I think the phone was falling for a sec? We're in a bit of a different setup. I tried to learn from last time and make it a little bit more easier to look at. I still feel like it's too far away, but if I put it any closer, I probably won't be able to see. If I put it any closer, I can't see what I'm doing, which is the big problem about just recording in general. I don't know how some artists draw and it just looks so aesthetic, so pleasing. They either have a 4K camera or just a very gorgeous setup. Because I'm not really sure. Mine is neither. I think it's fine. I'm glad it's fine and that you're able to, you guys are still able to watch it. Why? Okay, sorry. This thing is not. I should just. You know what? I think I'll just do. We're gonna use felt tip and then we're just gonna make the outline. You know what? We're gonna take the even lazier route. We're gonna go ling blang blang ling blang. We're just gonna. I think some just screen share. Yeah, but the problem is, YouTube doesn't let me screen share on my iPad. And I'm like, what? Why would you do that? Like, it lets me screen share on my phone, but it doesn't let me screen share on my iPad. And I'm like, okay, so you just hate Apple, is what I'm getting at here. That's what I see. You just hate Apple. Android, it's okay. The Apple, no. YouTube is just kind of weird like that. It's like how it doesn't let me stream horizontally. It's just stupid. It makes you so confused. Fire stream. Hey, welcome, fish. We're just drawing out of it, chilling. I wanted to expand a little bit my channel's range because sometimes, you know, Genshin and Honkai, they're just dead sometimes, and I don't want to stay without putting out content for you guys and just disappear into some limbo. So during the times when the game is slow, I'm just gonna put some art content and then I'll just please both audiences. I'm not abandoning neither side. I'm focusing on both. So, you know, if Hoyoverse ever dies, I'll still be here. We will still be here. Hi, how are you guys? I'm good. I'm doing pretty good. Art plus Hoyo Games plus you, fantastic. Thank you. It's just how we're going to work with it. We're going to try to balance everything out. And hopefully it's a success. I just keep getting ads, dude. Okay. Going to put this on the other side. Oh, this is for the squares. I'm not gonna pick out the squares because these squares that you see here, I'm gonna have to manually do these. Oh my god, can't speak. Of course I need to do it manually. I need to do them after coloring, so over the rendering. I'm stupid. I am dumb. I don't know what I was saying for a sec. Okay, no, wrong layer. No, wrong layer. La la la. So how am I gonna put this? No. Do the old one. Just gonna. There. Color it in. I wish my line art was smoother so I could just use the bucket tool. But just watch. Watch what happens when I try to use it. Okay. This bucket tool is so bad. Bagelo. How do you do that? What, a bagel? A bagelo? What the heck? Actually, what is a bagelo? Is that a name, actually? Use lasso tool. Oh, how to use this? How to use the bucket or the lasso tool? Two different things. It's just bagel. Oh, okay, so it's bagelo. Bagelo. I just said it in Spanish. Bagelo. Go to special. Oh, this. Yeah, this is easy. You just laser your way out of it and you just, Then there's a thingy. This thing. What I need to fix is this bucket tool, to be honest. I feel like I just painted a tutorial on how to fix this. Yicky. Gap recognition. How I think this is. Yeah. But you know what I don't like? That. This. It's really lame, actually. It's like you still have to manually do it in that case, but I mean, why is it round in these areas? It's okay. I'll just paint it over. It's filling it in shapes. I feel like I can change that. Strength. Let's make it stronger. No. The struggle is so real. Yeah, I like having it like not smooth, but I hate when it's not smooth just because filling these in is so bad afterwards. It's such a mid performance trying to fill in these gaps. Clip Studio people are very lucky because it's so much easier for them to pick out gaps. Because there's like a whole tool made for that. Let me just... We make... That didn't do much. Whatever. There you go. No. Just gonna continue to fill that in. The only reason this pants is actually the same color as the sleeve in the drawing. However, just to balance it out for the grayscale, we're going to keep it a gray color. Maybe I'll change it to a lighter gray, but we're still gonna keep it gray. We're not gonna darken it out too much. I mean, we're not gonna lighten it too much. Ew. I can't speak. Alright. And I left a blank space right here. What the hell? I'm gonna fix that. Quickly, fix that in. There you go. Some of these, I'm gonna keep them blank. Okay, so this. No, it's this. So we're gonna make it black. Okay. Up here. It's funny how the most saturated colors translate to black. I love color theory. There you go. See, there's a lot of space here. And that's what makes following these a lot harder. Just gonna thin these out. always find that filling in colors is actually the most boring process of drawing entirely. It's very time consuming. It's that, and then second to that is line art. I don't tend to like line arting that much unless it's like a really detailed piece that kind of requires it. But other than that, I just rather paint over it and speed run it as much as possible. What is your guys' favorite process for drawing? Let's interact. Let's see. What is your favorite part of drawing? And then what's your most hated one? That if you could skip it entirely, you would. I avoid line art as much as possible. Pray to God the sketch is clean enough. Honestly, based. I had a whole era where I just erased my sketch and that was my line art. But I stopped doing it because I realized my art started looking way too undefined. And like, okay, this music is getting kind of, okay, put it down a little bit. I realized that it started to make my art look a little, not bad or anything, but it just started to look a bit off. Because the line weight would be way too imbalanced to the point it didn't really make sense. Putting down base colors is my least favorite. You and me both. You and me both. I hate this part. This part is boring and lame. I actually should have done this yesterday and not on stream, but I decided to do it on stream because I got tired yesterday. Yesterday I came back from shopping, whatever. We were just out for a while, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna draw real quick, and so I can have something to stream tomorrow. Made this, and then was like, yeah, I'm not putting in the gaps when I put down base colors. Yeah, same. It's just a lot. Oh my god, that's a lot of trucks passing by today. Okay, we can put the volume back up again. Let's see, any other, yes. Got some smaller details like this. We can easily translate to here. At least a lot of motorcycles. Yeah, because the motorcycles are not really active that much during the day. It's always just at night when everyone's sleeping and everyone wants to rest that they just get restless. Also, it's a weekday. Like, it's Monday. You ain't gonna see motorcycles running around. You're just gonna see busy people going to work. People in their natural habitats. Okay, so for this, should I do it separately? Yeah, they're different colors. I should. We're gonna put it under this one. Yes, perfect. Change the layer arrangement. Wait, no. Yeah. Is this the same tone as this? No, it's not. Okay. Good. We don't want a lot of the same colors to like clash. Oh my goodness! It's a lot of busy trucks. We don't want the colors to clash too much. Especially when you're doing like grayscale or just in character design in general. You'll realize that some of the worst character designs, the reason they're muddy and messy, is because all their colors are crashing together and nothing is coherent. So when you do a character design, I recommend before coloring it, you color it in black and white. And it's like, you know, yeah, but how am I gonna know what colors? You just balance it out with black and white. It's far easier, and you get a better understanding and balance of what you're doing. I see. Yeah, it's kind of it's not that bad. Color balancing is pretty interesting. You just kind of need to understand the values, which is not really that hard, at least for me. I've been wanting to do a character design, and you should. I honestly, a lot of your creativity goes into doing character designs, and it's just really fun. A lot of my character designs emerge from just random ideas, or they just surge from copium from other mediums. Like, I made a lot of Night OCs because we have no Night of Beauty characters in Star Rail. And I was getting utterly obsessed with the theme. So I have like 3 or 4 Night characters. I love Night designs. They're my favorite kind of design. I used to be a big mecha type of designs, but then I was like, I really like Night designs. They just always look so good, and you can combine a lot of ideas and make the armor look really interesting. Meanwhile, a lot of the times with like sci-fi, you gotta like box it a bit. We need more Knights of Beauty? Yes we do. I would do anything for another Knight of Beauty. I love them. Like, their entire faction, they're my favorite faction in the whole game. I don't care. I love it. The entire theme that they're going for with it, it's amazing. Oh, hello, Alexandra. Welcome back. Nice to see you again. I love myself drawing clothing clothes. I understand. Yeah, I can see that. I'm not the biggest clothes liker. I like coloring myself some metal. I prefer it, like metal, gold, anything that's like metallic. I love coloring that. So we're gonna make this freaking, let's see, how much, is this the same shade as the hair? Whoops, accidentally. No, it's not. Do you see how crazy? This is the same color. It looks so light. And this color theory is insane, dude. Ah, I love it so much. Like, I would never be able to explain it, but I will always love it. Like, trying to explain to a family member why the color looks different in a certain light than in another is like trying to explain to them what aliens do. And that's like a weird example, but like, you understand. It's hard to explain that to someone who doesn't understand art in the slightest and doesn't know what colors are. See, here we're getting to the messy parts. Look at this. Like, we're getting into the super messy. I love art theory, but I can never think of it when I actually draw. I actually understand that. I feel like you learn it, but then you don't know how to apply it to your artworks. I feel like that's a problem a lot of people have. Like, they do it for like art studies and whatever, but then they actually don't know how to put it into practice. It's very unfortunate. Like, you can do it in an art study, but then what's the point of doing it in the art study if you can't do it on your actual artwork? I want to draw, but I have so much on my plate now. I don't think I can start now. You don't need, I'm actually gonna say this right now. You don't need a lot of time to learn how to draw. Now, this may sound strange, but you don't actually need to have a lot of time to draw. You can spend maybe 10 minutes of your day drawing. And as long as you sort of progress, how do I explain that? As long as you draw and understand what you're trying to do, you don't need to spend a large amount of time drawing. You can just take a small time gate and learn on your own. I feel like some people get the impression that you need to spend long hours or a bunch of days to learn. And while you can, it's not a big necessity to learn how to draw. A lot of people who draw usually draw in school and stuff when they're supposed to be doing probably other things. You just take a little bit of your time and just dedicate a little bit to it. You can get into it. It's never too busy to get into art and maybe relax a little in some aspects. I get to invest in drawing and then end up procrastinating. Oh, buddy. That makes sense? Yeah. I feel like some people get the wrong impression about art and saying it's too time consuming. It's really not. Like, people were actually saying this in PewDiePie's video, which I completely disagree with. Oh, of course he can draw. Of course he can learn. He's a millionaire and he has plenty of time. But you don't need. Many of us who draw, we spend like, I used to draw sometimes on a random piece of paper in my classroom, in my desk, and we could just learn there and progress from there. Because if you don't start, you're never gonna be able to. Art is considered always second to your job, to everything. If you don't find any room for it, and you don't take a little bit of your time out of it, you're not gonna really be able to ever get into it, because you're always gonna say, oh, I don't have time. I don't know if that makes any sense. Maybe we are struggling together. Yes, that's just how it goes. We're all in this together. We're all gonna suffering in unison. Okay, so, and now it's starting to kind of come together. Now we're going somewhere. His hands were dark. No, they actually weren't dark here. But I do want to darken them for the sake of balancing some of these out. Because some of these colors are clashing too much. Some of these are clashing a little bit. I feel like I'm making too many layers. Oh no. Yeah. I think this should be, yeah, this should be the... Where was it? Oh, that was the hand, that was the hand. I was like, what am I doing? Yeah. That's also the shoulders. I should remember that. Try and keep everything that is the same color in a singular layer, unless they're like overlapping in some way. I'm gonna try and do this all separately. La la la. I'm gonna do that. I gave him long fingernails for this form because I was like, you know what? Long nails are kind of hot. They kind of look really good in design. So we're gonna give him that. We're gonna give him the long nails. They look like sharp claws. So now he got the fangs, and he has the snake fangs, and now he has the claws. Yeah, it does. Yeah, that's always attractive. feel like the color for the hands is too light. I would have liked it to be as dark as this. This is chest plate. It's okay. I'll figure it out. We'll figure it out when we establish our colors. When you guys watch how I overlay these colors and the sides on them, you're gonna know why this takes like 50 years, because seeing how the colors go together, what colors to use, is kind of the worst. But I'll show you when we get there. First I need to finish. I'm kind of just winging it, because I'm gonna render on top of this anyways. So it's not important, but then the perfectionist in me is like, fill it in correctly. You're making more trouble for yourself. Get back to it. Where's the layer where I did the earphones? Oh, it's this one. It's like, please, do it nicely. No, you don't have to. And then it's just two voices talking in my head. Is that a motorcycle in midday? I just misspoke, dude. I thought for sure they hardly pass by, but you know, because I'm recording, they decided today we are gonna pass by, and we're gonna make tons of noise. These people suck. Alright, we're gonna add the layers there. Okay, we're almost done putting down the base, because a lot of this we don't have to. La, 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 la. Can this fill in? Yes, you can. Nice. Perfect. Another ad. Yeah. YouTube is putting a lot of ads recently. Are they going broke or something? Like, Jesus Christ. At least we know people are probably getting paid. Paid hella good money, probably. Okay. Random question. Do you ever do any gesture studies? Or that sort of stuff? I actually don't know what gesture studies are. Can you be a little bit more specific? Just a little more specific. I feel like I know what you mean, but I'm not completely sure. Like art studies, or like what kind, like, let me actually, I can pull up Google. Let me look. Let me look real quick. I had 1 minute of no ads. I was able to not skip ads. Oh yeah, that's been happening a lot. They've been recently doing that a lot. Oh, okay. Yeah. So basically art studies, gesture studies for like poses and stuff. Okay, how to look for a definition. I found it. Honestly, not really. I don't actually do a lot of art studies. I kind of do more like studying art styles more than anything else, because I feel like I learn more studying it from other artists than studying it myself. That doesn't make any sense. Let me try and reiterate that. I don't do a lot of gesture studies. I just observe and learn from that, because a lot of what I do, I just make poses using the poser app, or even myself, and then I just reference myself visually, and then I just redraw it, and then I have an understanding of anatomy by doing it 100 times. But I actually don't study it formally. I don't formally like actually sit down and make a bunch of sketches of poses or of anatomy. No, I just kind of sit down and basically just I basically wing it every time and just draw it based on my own knowledge right in the moment. Basically, all my finishing products can be considered practice. I don't know if that makes any sense. It's very cool. Yeah, I'm glad you think that. I mean, it's not very professional, of course. It's just me doing whatever. But it usually helps. I feel like when I do art studies, it's mostly art style studies because I feel like that is my sort of flaw. And it's that there's certain parts of a face or a body that I'm like, how do they make it look like that? How do they make it look, just to put as an example, how do they make it look attractive? Like, how do they do that shading that makes it look like hotter or something? Just as an example. So I'd rather study in art style than study like poses and gestures because I can just do that separately while I'm drawing and just winging it all the way. My English is not Englishing. I am sorry. It's okay. My English doesn't English either. It happens to all of us. Your English is pretty good. Personally, I'm understanding what you're saying, at least. I'm having no trouble. Another ad. Jesus, stop. How many times am I gonna stop and skip you? I'm gonna spend more time complaining about ads than actually expanding on anything. There's just too many. La 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 la. I should put some Hoyoverse OST to be honest, but I'm not sure which one would fit the vibe more. Because neither of them do, to be honest. Oh, maybe some Genshin OST. I feel like we could do that, actually. Hold on, I'm actually gonna see if I can get some Genshin OST, maybe. No, Hoyoverse doesn't copyright strike OST. If it gets copyright strike, it's an outside person doing it. Because Hoyoverse themselves, they don't copyright any of their OST. And that goes for some video games. But Hoyoverse exclusively is one of those that they allow you to sell merch. They allow you to use their OSTs and make content with them. It's really nice. Yeah, that's really nice. Yeah, they're actually very nice. One of the few companies that won't strike you down. You should take some notes, Nintendo. Nintendo's a little piece of dookie. Some of them will strike you immediately, but then there's some that really don't. I'm gonna put some Inazuma OST. The Nintendo shade, yeah, of course. These freaking people hunt you down terribly. These people suck for this. Like, they have so much money and yet they slap you with a copyright strike, yeah. I did know that. The shade is deserved. Yeah, it's deserved. These people are just greedy. They are insane. They're freaking crazy people. Okay, so right now this is blending in with the background, but that's okay because it's not gonna be that color when we finish it. I feel like I should. Okay, now we should get to lightening this gray. Perfect. What shade of... Let that truck pass by? Okay. Let's see, what shade of gray is this? This is the same as... Okay, it's slightly darker. We can do that. We can work with that. We can just paint it over. Boom. Let's do the eyes too. We're almost done. Oh, whoops. There you go. Man, I love Finalizing OST. It sounds so beautiful. Okay. Okay, got some gray. No, I'm not gonna shade the eyes. Because the thing about, Nameless's eyes, his eyes are very, they're actually gradients. So if you see in his original eye, it's not a solid color. It's actually white with a gradient in the pupil area here. So I can't really color his eyes. Kind of got to do that separately. Let's see. Okay. We add the color for the sword and we're done. In the case of shading, I mean, we're not actually done. Hey, we're just getting started. Oh no, this would go under the hand. Oh no, but then that would mean it goes under. Never mind. We did that on top. Already feeling so nostalgic? Yeah. It is been such a long time. I feel like even though Inazuma's story wasn't that great, the music definitely was. Such a banger. I feel like it's the OST I come to the most. Fontaine and Inazuma has my favorite OST. Sumeru, some of them are bangers too, but mostly Fontaine and Inazuma. Because there is a lot of orchestral, and I really like orchestral music. I just think it's such a beautiful sounding. Yep, it does. Music makes feel something. Yeah. It really is very nice. Very soothing. It's just a vibe. The Nahida theme is my favorite from Sumeru. Oh yeah. Yeah, now I remember. It sounds really nice. I feel like, what word am I? It's just I don't know them by name. A lot of times I would just let them play. And I would just know from what region they were, just because of the instruments they used. But outside of that, I don't know them by names. My favorite from Sumeru is the Port 1. Oh, Port Ormos OST. Yeah, that's a banger. I feel like the battle theme is really good. It's like Sumeru's battle theme. Fire. It just sounds so nice. You don't remember the name? It's Port Ormos. Yeah. Yeah, what Bagelo said. Oh, our first ad. Yeah, this one has less ads than the other one. Hopefully the ads don't. I don't think the ads can copyright me. That doesn't make any sense. Okay. Nope. I was about to say, okay, I think we're done. No, never mind. No. I'm goofing. I lied. Girl, I lied. That's... What app are you using? I'm using Ibis Paint. Free app. Easy to use. Been using it for 5 years. I wouldn't change it for any other, except maybe Clip Studio. I feel like Clip Studio is like the closest one I use after Ibis Paint. But yeah, Ibis Paint is the one we're using. They've been doing some quality of life updates recently. It's too bad I can't use their like 8K quality because my iPad will literally explode. It starts getting super slow. That's because my storage is like exaggeratedly full. There we go. Okay, so for the sake of my own sanity, we're going to change the color of the background just a little bit. Yeah, there we go. I'm gonna make black for the neon aspects that are gonna go here. I'm gonna fill that in. And then we should be done. All the details, we don't need to worry about them. We're gonna use those when we're rendering. No need to overthink it. Okay, let's boom boom. There we go. Almost. Okay. Okay. It's not straight, but that doesn't matter. Because, you know, we'll fix that. Boom. Banger. We can change the background color back to the original black. Or should we put it on white? Yeah, that looks better on black. We're gonna leave it on black for now. But look at all these layers already. We're gonna make a folder. I'm gonna put these two in. Hide it, so you don't need that. Oh, we should put all of the ones we're not using in there. Folders are such a useful tool for this. There we go. Alright, now this is the part where everything starts to come together. Usually. We could start shading directly on the black and white first. Okay, we're gonna shade with the black and white first, and then we'll figure out the colors after. Yeah, that's exactly what we're gonna do. Absolutely cooking. Yes, we now. It's time for the cook. We're gonna lower the opacity a little bit more. Okay, we're gonna first render the skin, and then we render everything else. And the skin is usually the face. Has to be one of the most defined areas to me. It's usually the most defined part of the drawing, because most people, they're gonna look at the character's face 99.9% of the time. So I'm gonna select it, and we're gonna stay in this oriented area, and we're gonna start with our shading. So I'm gonna start. I'm gonna use the airbrush for this. I'm gonna bring out the airbrush. Yes. I don't tend to recommend the airbrush. It really depends what you're trying to do. But the airbrush, if you don't know how to use it, it can just muddy your drawing. So I'm just gonna put it around the areas that are gonna have darker spots. Like these areas here. Under the eyes, over the eyes. this area here. Oh my goodness, another ad. I'm gonna put that on top of all of the defining features. And then we're gonna add the other gradient, which is the white, on all the areas that should stand out more, which is usually the opposite area, under the eyes, on top of the lips, the forehead. So the lighting is gonna come from above. We're gonna have two lighting sources actually. We're gonna have a small lighting source coming from the sword because the sword glows this color. And then we're gonna have a white lighting from above that will be descending downward. So we have two light sources. Right now we're gonna focus on one light source first, and then we're gonna go to the other one. Now bring back the darker tone again. Bring that back. Like that in the middle. Yeah. I'm just gonna shade a little bit under the nose, but it's not that necessary. When we remove the line art, you'll see some definition on there. But we're not gonna remove the line art entirely. That's not how it works. We render on top of the line art, not without the liner. Gonna slightly lighten that a bit. Okay, we're gonna put some dark under the lips. And then a little bit around the lips as well. That will be very important when we render the lips in its entirety. Put some dark areas around the hair parts. So here. And the damn truck again. Nice. I'm just gonna have a little bit of that. We got some definition on it. Right now we're gonna airbrush a little bit on these segments here. Just a little. We don't need to do it that much. Okay. Already looks like it has a lot of detail, doesn't it? It really does. It's really amazing what shading can do for a face. It's like putting makeup. You just gotta know where to put it. Like, if you don't know how to put it, it'll change the face of your entire drawing. You can make the nose look crooked just by accidentally shading in the wrong spot. Already look pretty good, yeah. Because in the art immediately gets some life when definition is added. That actually looks 3D, that's so cool. Ah, thank you. This is how we... It looks so creepy on the thumbnail for the layer. It looks so goofy. But yeah, it usually immediately starts getting together by knowing the placement. So we're gonna add some more light, specifically on the areas that the light will hit more directly at. So we're gonna get it on up here. A lot of the light is gonna go up here. We're gonna put a little bit here, but not a lot. So this is gonna be like our second light. I prefer using overlay over using any other type of layers for this. Some people would use add, some people use color dodge. I personally use overlay because overlay is just simpler to me. Some people can use soft light too, but I feel like soft light, it kind of dull. It's a bit duller. So yeah, I always recommend, like, if you want it really, of drawing to look really bright, to use overlay rather than any of the other ones. Okay, cool. Add a little bit of right here, right here. We're basically adding like the highlight. Okay, The difference is not a lot with and without the highlight. It's not as noticeable. Eventually you get to see how noticeable it is. I'm gonna put a little bit on the nose too. Not a lot, but we do have to put some. The magic of shadow, yep. That's how you make a human face. Doesn't look good without shadow. Do you know what a human face looks like without the defining shadows? Weird. That's what they look. Something can look so bizarre, flat. Like, it needs that dimension. Which is why a lot of people say, like, you need to trust the process. Yes, because, of course, flat colors is not always gonna look great. A lot of the times, things look good when they're in their verge of completion. Okay, now we're using multiply to put the darkest areas. Put some emphasis on them. So this time, when we're doing harder shadow, we don't use airbrush. I'm gonna use this custom brush I made. It's called, this is what I called it. I called it this. It probably looks really scary. It does look scary. And kind of horrifying, to be honest. So we're gonna use this brush that I made. If you guys want it, you can have it. Here, look. Whoops. Quick, screenshot it, keep it. We don't gatekeep. If you want to use it, it's a textured brush that I usually use for painting. If you want to use it, take it. If you use Ibis paint, quickly. Okay, I'm gonna go back now. Okay, Lamau. Anyways, we don't gatekeep, you know. So we're going to now put the darker shadow. And for the darker shadow, I'm gonna use this brush. We're gonna make it. I recommend lowering the opacity when you use it from the brush directly, because if it's too much, then it's just gonna look kind of iffy. See how that looks? If you zoom in, it looks really textured, but from far away, it just kind of looks like you airbrushed it a little harder. The pain of using a different art program. Oh no! Sad. What program do you use? You use Procreate? Is that what you use? Or is it something else? I swear most artists is like fighting between Procreate, Ibis Paint, and Clip Studio. Procreate? Yeah, okay. I thought so. It's either Procreate, Clip Studio, or Ibis Paint. And 99% of the time, it's probably Procreate. Especially if they have a tablet. I have Procreate. I mean, you can see it right here. I have it. I don't use it though. I don't like the pen pressures of Procreate. I've never finished like a full-blown illustration in Procreate. I should make that a challenge for myself actually. That would be great content. Just trying to make a full illustration using Procreate. Because I just really don't like using it. I used to use Flip-a-Clip to draw an illustration. How? Excuse me? How? How the heck did you do that? I didn't even know Flip-a-Clip had layers. I have an Android. The best option is Ibis. Yeah. Anyone who uses Android, Ibis is always the best option. Honestly, for anyone, Ibis can be the best option. Even for like iPhone users, I recommend it. Ibis is honestly goated. Yeah, yes it is. Ibis Paint really is the GOAT. Carries a lot of the art community. I used to follow their YouTube tutorials. It was really funny. So my art looked really wonky. It has a max of 3 layers. How did you draw anything? with only 3 layers. I mean, when you're in a beginner era, I guess you don't use that many layers. When I started, I didn't use that many layers. I'm gonna be honest. I would just do it all on top of each other because I thought digital art was like traditional art. And it's not. No. If anyone says, ooh, if you do traditional art, then digital art is easy. No, that's a lie. They are deceiving you with such bullshittery. It's not the same. So I just used to get cooked. True, those illustrations they didn't flip a clip were ass. No. Don't insult it though. I can admit my old art was pretty ass cheeks too, but what's it really? True, those illustrations, those are 2 different forms of art. Yeah, I agree. They are 2 different forms of art. In the end, they accomplish the same thing, but they are 2 separate mediums. But I didn't treat it like that. I used to treat them like if they were the same. Because I thought, ooh, I can do traditional, I can do digital, then it didn't work like that. Which is why it annoys me when some people try to say like, ooh, what blank is easier than the other. No, that depends on you. It depends on you. Everything you start, it depends on you. The only thing that is not real art in this world is AI. That's the only not real art in this universe. But beginner art, museum art, abstract art, those are all real. Okay? But you managed, you're a warrior, yeah. We all need to start somewhere. If we don't start, we never go anywhere. If we never start, then there's no way to reach anything. Honestly, both of them are super valid. I switched between them. Yeah, I started traditional. I haven't done traditional a long time, but that's because art supplies has been really expensive as of late. Like, has anyone else had this problem? This crap is getting really expensive. Very pricey. And it could be like that. It could be just a freaking Crayola and it's freaking expensive. I used to use like Crayola. If I was lucky, I'd get a Prismacolor. But it's just been kind of... it's kind of not a good investment recently. At least for me, it hasn't been that great. But I still do a lot of sketching in like sketchbooks and stuff, mainly for designs. Spend a lot of time writing. Okay, so we have our more defined shadow. We can lighten or darken it depending how we decide to proceed forward. Now I'm gonna make another layer of multiply. And we're going to put some emphasis in the under eyes. The shading on the under eyes. Who's advertising? Everyone and their mom wanna pass by today. Paint is so expensive now. And the good brushes too. Yeah, everything is expensive now. It's really... and it's like, you can just... why would you want to spend a lot of traditional when you can at least get it a bit cheaper in like digital? You don't need to spend so much. But if I could find good alternatives, I would gladly use them and try and draw more. Because it's been a while, to be honest. It's been a while. I used to be in like an art club when I was in like 7th grade and draw a lot of anime and traditional art on there. It was a good time back when things were not nearly as expensive as now. It's not like, oh, it's not like sad that everything's expensive. Yeah, almost everything you want to do nowadays is expensive. Sometimes even like trying to eat good food, and like the fact that even fast food is like going insane, and it all in the excuse of inflation. Yeah, then inflation because you want it to be. It's like it. So we're gonna use some, instead of using the eraser tool because I don't have a textured eraser, because this is the multiply layer, we can get away with using white. Okay, it's obviously it's too dark. Don't. It looks like he has a giant splotch under his eye, but that's because we're not done. I get most of my traditional supplies at either Walmart or my local art shop is having a sale. Honestly, price gouging is a crime as it affects all. Yeah, it's getting pretty exaggerated. I'm gonna put some Fontaine OST now. Let's put some Fontaine OST. Play this banger. Let's go. Yeah, it's kind of rough for traditional artists all around. Alright, so we're gonna do the same on the other eye. I have some pens though that I feel like I could use more often, but for some reason I haven't really. It's just I don't have any ideas either. Like every idea I get, I'm like, it's too good. I need to do it digital, and because I want to make it print and a bunch of other stuff, and I want to post it better, because high quality. And so I end up not drawing anything. I end up not drawing anything traditionally. It's kind of infuriating, but it is the truth of the matter, especially since traditional art doesn't get the same algorithm treatment either. Like, do you guys get a lot of traditional art videos on YouTube or on Instagram? I don't. My algorithm is like, ooh, you like art? And then shows me 90%, like 98% of it is just digital. The algorithm doesn't please it that much either. So it kind of just doesn't encourage people either. So we're going to do a little bit on the under eye as well. Because when we shade eyes, we know that we have a shadow underneath our eye too. But we also have a highlight under our eye. But I do that when we're in another segment, which is not yet. Here we go. Go like that. We're gonna put some dark under the eyebrows because we're not gonna be able to see it at the moment. Okay, so it's exaggeratedly dark, so we're going to lighten that up. I'm gonna darken it a little bit here. Okay. Yeah, now we have some definition. Renew your definition. Okay, no, I didn't mean to say that. So we got a little bit of some more defined aspects. However, I'm seeing we do have a little bit of a little iffy. It has mostly to do with this liner here. But we'll fix that. Don't worry, we'll fix that. We will fix that. Okay, so I'm gonna fuse it before it becomes too many layers. If we have ever an issue, I come and pull up with the tone curve. Oh my god! My eardrums. Jesus Christ, dude. Jump scare, yeah. Jesus. The school bus, brother. What is it doing? There's not even supposed to be school today. Because tomorrow are the elections. We shouldn't be having this. Yeah, that terrified me. I hate loud noises. Okay, so what was I? Yeah, the tone curve. This thing that you'll probably see a lot of artists use, I'm gonna be using it as well. I use it sometimes, a lot of the time actually. It does a lot for me actually. We're just gonna use it and we're sort of gonna try and balance a little bit of what we're doing. Just a little, not a lot. Not a lot, just a little. And then let's see. And we lowered that down. Yeah, you probably won't notice what it did. I understand. The difference is very minimum, but to me it means something. I feel like it's more important once you start getting to like coloring territory, because that helps balance colors a lot. I'm gonna use this liquify a little bit because some of this is just a little bit on the clunky side. Yeah. Okay, so now we're just gonna smooth it out just a little bit. These parts are like way too sharp. And when you're working with round edges, they don't need to be this sharp. They should be relatively lighter. Relatively smoother. That's the correct word. They shouldn't really be that sharp. Or that dark either. Hi. Hi, Majesty. Hi. Doing some black and white. The school bus scared us earlier. I'm just gonna... Do I need some... Okay. I'm not sure if I should add some shading around the chin or not. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Because sometimes it looks bad. But sometimes it looks pretty good. It really depends. So I'm gonna try and put some. Wait, is this a different layer or is this the same one? Then, no, this is the same one. Please make sure you're doing it on a different layer. Do it on the same layer and you're doomed. You're done for. So we're just gonna shade around the mouth and the chin. Just a little bit. And we're gonna lighten it immediately because that kind of sucks. Yeah, that sucks. Because we have shading on our chins and stuff, that it's not really that great to draw. Okay. Is it really necessary? I can get away without doing it, yeah. I can get away without giving him shading in the chin. Okay. Alright. So we got the skin then. We're gonna try and do the eye so then we can mesh it with the skin. These usually just go hand in hand together on a same layer. We don't need to do that much. So we're just gonna shade that there. Shade that a little. Okay. So let's do the eye. So I already explained it a bit earlier, but his eye is a bit of a gradient. So it's not really solid color. So we're going to keep it white and we're just gonna color a little bit around this pupil area. Just a little bit. Like that. Okay, maybe just a little bit lighter. It's kind of dark. Yeah. Like that. It's not very dark. It's just very, very soft and simple. It's perfect. There we go. Alright, now we're gonna add the shading for around the eye, because, you know, the eye is kind of standing out a little bit too much because it's too much white. Your eye is not plain old white, so we're just gonna straighten that out a little bit too. We're gonna add some color within. Just a little. Oh my god! Thanks, motorcycle. Where are you guys coming from? Okay, I'm gonna add some white because kind of too much gray. Beep, 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 beep. Here we go. We put a little bit above. There. There we go. Now the face is relatively complete for the moment. Just for now. Because then we gotta sort of render this on top. Because as you can see, we got this line here. Still need to do the facial scars. But that would require me to do it on top of the liner. And we're not on top of the liner yet. So now, we're gonna go to a different part. We're just gonna keep shading all of the more crucial parts. And we're gonna just work with around it. So let's go with our next layer. We should do the sleeves and stuff, which is underneath the, whoops, I didn't mean to flip it. Excuse me, unflip, thank you. I hate flipping an artwork. A lot of the times flipping an artwork doesn't actually help. It doesn't actually work. Because then when you make the adjustments, it makes the side that looked good look bad. Like flipping the canvas, it feels like a myth to me. Feels not very efficient, in my opinion. I mean, people don't even remember to flip a canvas to begin with, so... Alright, so just like what we did with the skin, we're gonna make a gradient all over it. We're gonna make a little gradient all over it. Can I do that? And then we're gonna make a darker gradient. Just gonna come from the bottom here. And we're gonna go, oh, whoops. See, here's where we start seeing some of the issues. Let's erase that. Perfect. Get that out of the way. Alright. Alright, so now we're gonna try and define this shadow. I'm gonna grab our watercolor brush again. And we're going to start defining the shapes and shadows. So we can make the folds. Folds, I'm not a big fan of doing them. A lot of the times I struggle, but when it comes to like in certain positions, it's actually not that hard to sort of manage. Because in this case, since the sleeve is pulled upwards, we can easily see the direction of where the shadow should be, which is around and pulling in this area. And we just pull that all up and over. I'm gonna put it a little bit behind it. We do gotta be a little bit careful because sometimes you can kind of overdo it. Shadows are lighter when they're closer to the light. Usually, depends how far the light is. The light is not a close light, it's actually a more softer light, so at least for the sleeve area, because a lot of the emphasis of the light is going to be on the face. So we're going to define that here. Gradient that. Perfect. Oh, oops, I didn't mean to do that. You picked out the wrong color for a second. Go like that. Go like that. Oh, whoops. I just made a mistake. We fused it with the wrong layer. We're going to add another overlay, and for this one, I'm going to bring back the airbrush so we can lightly blend around these areas. Or darken them if we need to. Which we don't need to, we just need to just a little bit. Just a little. Okay, for some reason it's on top of the pants. We don't need that. We should just erase that out. Then down here we erase that out a little as well. There you go, okay. That seems better. So now we got a little bit of that folding. We don't need to do too much detail on the folding. It's not necessary. We should put a darker shadow for this part here. Because this is the inside of the sleeve. This is not the outside of it. So we are going to shade on top of it a darker color. I'm going to make it slightly darker than this one. So we're going to pick that up again. And we're going to do that. Yeah. Should not be that light. Should be dark enough, relatively dark. Like not super dark, but it should be relatively. It should be relatively there. Nope. Select that again. Nope. So nope. It still got out a little bit. Just a little, yeah, there we go. Okay, so you can see what happened here, right? This is another layer overlapping with it. But that's okay because we're painting. And when you paint, you don't need to worry about things being on top of each other. Okay, so we need to just, we're gonna keep it this dark. I think that's okay. Whoops. I think that's alright. We don't need to make it too dark. And now we're going to do the same with the other sleeve that's over here. I'm going to darken. I'm going to darken it in here. Darken it all around. Truly start defining it. I would love to just jump into adding all the colorful aspects, but we can't. If we jump a process, we can't rush it. But sometimes you get that rush and you're like, oh, I just want to see it finished. No, don't let that control you. That's like the step to making your artwork freaking die. Like, I'm patient for art most of the time, but anything else, I'm not that patient. I'm patient at tolerating people and drawing, nothing else. Video paused, yeah, continue playing. YouTube asked me if I was still there. Yeah, I'm still here. I'm just listening to some music. Let's need to define the shadow a bit more. Because this shadow is very much from behind us. So we should, this music got loud for a sec. So we should put some dark emphasis around this area. I like Okay. Where is... Then we're gonna add a little bit of that here for the folds in this area. No, I didn't even, okay. See, this is something that you always need to focus on, is understand how much of a shadow you really need. For this, I need a lot more shadow than what I'm actually adding, because it's behind the thing, so it definitely needs more shadow than what I'm adding on here. Alright, there we go. So now we have some defined areas. Okay, this should be a bit, there should be a bit of shading here too, because it has this over it. So we're just gonna color that a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Okay, now we got the sleeves shading. Get a little bit more on that route. Almost, hold on. This is actually very interesting because the way I drew it here made it seem like this was the where it ends, but it's a baggy sleeve, so it's not, doesn't really work like that. I don't know what I was thinking when I made that part of it. Gonna put a little bit on. Nope, still missing. Okay, yeah, that works. That works. And then we add an overlay, and we use a black color, get the airbrush, and we're gonna darken this area here. Some emphasis on the shading from the back, and that it's getting hidden from the back, and here's some shading from being around the sleeve. So we're gonna add a little bit less. Okay. Perfect. Okay, that's gonna be a placeholder shading. And I call it a placeholder shading because depending on the filters after, I could make that part darker or lighter, depending on how much light we end up getting on that. Alright, so what should we do next? We should do... Let's do the hands because... Select that. We're going to do the hands and the shoulders because these are going to be just as important. Alright, so we're going to use, once again, we tend to rinse and repeat the same formula, to be honest. My strategy for coloring and shading in general doesn't tend to change very often, if not at all. It just depends on the vibe I'm going for with the drawing. Like sometimes my style will change depending on the overall vibe. I can make it more watercolor focused, or I can make it more more painting-esque. But it'll all be reliant on the overall vibe and colors that are going to be used for the artwork. Okay, we have some light here, but no. Okay, this lighting is wrong. Because the light's coming from above, he shouldn't be having any light coming from the side here. So instead, the light should be over here on this side, because of the light emitting from the sword here. Yeah, that can be a little confusing too. Like knowing where to put the shade, the light and the shading can also be very confusing. We're just gonna do that. Just like that. We put some emphasis on that there. Perfect. Maybe put a little bit more. Okay. Very ideal. We're gonna put a little bit of some shadow to emphasize the division between here and here. This part of the armor, we're starting to get into the more metal territory here. So we're gonna start using the airbrush a little bit more. And the structure on how we're gonna draw this is also going to change a little as well. Perfect. Alright. This has some very interesting details. As you can see, this has these lines, which are actually I'm going to do again after. Hello, does Jerosi have a name yet? Yes. So, his name is Nameless. That's the name he gave himself. So his name is quite literally Nameless, but his real name is Qingxin Shenchuang. Shenchuang. I forget how to pronounce that correctly. Qingxin Shenchuang. That's his real name. But he calls himself Nameless throughout most of it. This is not his original form. This is not his actual like main design. This is an alternate design, I guess I could call it. I'm not sure. That's probably not the correct name. No, that's probably not the correct word to use for what it is. It's like a transformative design. Alright, we're gonna fuse that. He is one of the main OCs at the moment. Okay, we're gonna put that overlay and we're gonna airbrush. Okay, now here are we getting to the parts that need to be really dark. And we can do a little bit of some light in the top here, a little bit on the knuckles, but not too much. Can just emphasis a little bit less. Yes, there we go. There you go. Okay, no. So the thing about knuckles and stuff like that is that you need to shade them a little bit. Like this. Do a little bit of some round shading when we handle those aspects. Yep. Oh, no. I hate accidentally color picking a different color. It makes drawing this so much harder. And I should remove that feature, but sometimes I do need it. Sometimes it comes really handy. Oh, no. That's too... Whoops. Okay. Now we're gonna lighten this a little bit because that's too dark for shadow. And then we're going to add another overlay. I was gonna say overlay. We're gonna add another multiply layer. We're gonna use eye hard brush. We're going to emphasize the separation of the hand and fingers from the 1%ed by this. Dang, it started playing some really sad music. Okay, Fontaine. Putting some sad music. Doesn't really fit the vibe, doesn't it? We can, let me see. Maybe we can pull something else. How about some Honkai Star Rail OST? Let's see, what's some recent Honkai Star Rail OST that we got in here? Let's see, what do we got? Whoops. Star Rail OST. Think about Sunday OST. We're stealing. We're becoming God with this one, folks. Actually suits it better considering my character is a divine, sort of. He is technically a member of the divine, so I feel like that's more accurate. God, I love this theme. Okay. Hanakone gotta have the best Honkai Star Rail OST. Okay, so we're gonna... Nope. So now we gotta put some shading to separate these as well. Oh, yeah, makes amazing music? Yes. They make incredible music. I love it. I always like to listen to it. There's always a perfect song for a perfect vibe. It's really... We are ascending with Sunday. Yeah, that's right. We going up with this one. It's so good. Truly fits the... I hope, and I said this to my friend, that his demo has this kind of like orchestral music. Or like some Kagan church type of music. Because it's just too amazing to not put emphasis on. Like it would make me very upset if he doesn't have like orchestral sort of OST. It's a waste of potential. Like have a Nouvelette type of thing. Gregorian chant. I mean, yeah, I guess that would work. Yeah. I guess that's kind of the proper word for it. Because the thing is, like, I'm not sure if orchestral guitar has like a genre, but it's like my favorite. It's my favorite kind of music. I love listening to orchestra mixed with guitars. I spend most of my time listening to that kind of music. Alright. Look, these fingers they look oddly long. And it's like, yeah, they are a little long, but there's something wrong with them. Oh, there we go. Found it. Please, we need that. Yes, please. Don't give me some typical music. Give me a banger. His demo better be a banger. I can't wait for him to come out. I have him guaranteed already. He's currently still saving for his LightCon. But I need him. I need him so bad. I don't care what he does. He will come. Unfortunately, we'll have to skip King Yoon 5-star version because I'm not gonna have anything to spare. I might actually go for E1 if it's like that crazy. If it's really good, we'll probably taking that too. I need to draw more Sunday, but I just haven't come up with any ideas yet. I feel like I need some more divine inspiration. I wish I'm on a 50-50. Oof. I wish you luck, dude. You better, you'll win your 50-50, girl. I promise. You got this. Ouch. My pencil got stuck. Hold on. Okay, here we go. We're back. My pencil's slightly broken. Look at this. It has a spring coming out of it because the top that used to be here, it broke. So I have a slightly broken pencil. But it works. It's okay. As long as it does the job. Well, I was about to make another layer. Yeah. No. And then the light is far more unfocused, so we need to make it a little less airbrush in these parts. Manifesting good luck for anyone who wants Sunday. You will have him. Promise. Okay. Got some color on that. And use a little bit of the blur just for this spot. Yeah, that works fine. Alright. Let's go down here. Put a little bit of some shading here. This time we're adding the shadow in this part and not under it. Oh, the guitar's so sick. I love listening to music while drawing because it gets me in the mood. I always try that my music fits whatever I'm drawing as best as I can, because sometimes the music I listen to can influence my drawing and what I end up drawing. It's kind of like, you could think it's kind of weird, but it's like they kind of go hand in hand. Same with my writing, yeah, it really does influence a lot. It could really change what you're trying to go for. Like maybe you're initially trying to do something calm, but then you hear some extravagant music and you're like, okay, I'm gonna write something. I'm gonna write something far more dark and broody. It just really depends. Okay, you know what? I don't like how I did the shading here because it makes it look like he has a bunch of sticks for fingers. But I guess that's more of an issue with how I drew the fingers and not really the fingers itself. I'll have to fix that in rendering too, because The shading is making him look skinny and wonky. So we can just fix that with the shadow a little bit. But we'll have to formally fix it. There we go. Looks a bit better. Okay, now we're gonna do the darkest. Just like it before, we're gonna do the darkest line. Speaking piece of my hair in the way. Hate drying and random hairs coming in my face. When does this OST play? Hold on. I've never heard this one. The heck? That's a really short one. I never knew that I just did. Alright. And now we have the darker form. No, it was just about to play it again. Don't play that thing again. This one is such a vibe too. But you hear it like a million times. Okay. So we got the hands done. Okay, I realized something actually. And it's that I didn't... Okay, that's actually a huge mistake. Where's his arm? I didn't draw his arm coming out of the sleeve. Oh my goodness. That was a fatal mistake. I'm gonna do that right now. Yeah, we're gonna pretend that didn't happen and we're gonna quickly add that in. Quickly. We're gonna pretend that didn't happen, guys. So it's gonna be black. I'm gonna go beep beep beep. There you go. Okay. We're gonna fix that. Oh god. Imagine I didn't notice. We would have had a floating hand coming out of nowhere. You gotta have paranoia to the max. Have a little bit of some white onto that. Mainly around here because there's gonna be light emitting from this part here. Perfect. Gonna lighten it. Perfect. Alright. Now we have a fixed hand. That's better. It's not incomplete anymore. Okay, so now, what should we do? Should we do hair or the sword? I'm gonna need to do both anyways, but like, I guess the sword would be less detail compared to the hair maybe. We can try sword. Yeah, we can try the sword. So for our sword, we're gonna use the harder brush because using the lighter brush is just not efficient. Like when you're trying to paint metal, using a solid brush is what you're gonna have to go with. Either that or an airbrush, but the airbrush is gonna be for this part. And we're gonna watch in a sec how we're gonna do that. You're gonna need another layer for it. Then I'm gonna start by shading the darker part, which is this outline here, which is the shadow from it connecting together. It's very messy too. Wait, I should have selected it. Hold on. No. Rename layer. Who names their layers? I can never name my layers. I can't keep up with them. I feel like that only works for like people who have very specific stuff in a very specific layer. Like, I know I just paint, they would separate it like, ooh, hands or arms, or, and I just be like, I'm keeping the name because that's kind of hard to keep up with. It's kind of messy. Whoops, I was on the wrong. I was like, why isn't this drawing? Well, of course, it's on the wrong layer. Put a bit of some here as well. A little bit around so we can have some of the shading from the hand. I'm gonna add a little bit of, whoops, we're gonna have a little bit of some blur. Not a lot, just a little. There you go. You can shade that too. Alright, perfect. We don't color this top part because this top part is going to be bright because it's all the way on the top. Now we make a whole nother layer. We put it under this one. And we're going to use the airbrush for this part. This is the very vital part when it comes to metal. See, when it comes to metal, it's not nearly as hard. You're going to put some light in the bottom because remember the sword is going to emit light in this area that is currently dark. So I need to put some emphasis on the light that's going to eventually be there. Go on here. So there's going to be some pretty dark swatches and edges, and then a really light bottom area. Once again, we're going to shade around this. Metal is so good for shading. I love shading this. Look at this. So easy and satisfying. Could also add a little bit of some glow around here too. Yeah, need some glow around those areas too. Go. Okay. So basically some light in the top and some light in the bottom. And then I'll need to add another layer where we can have a bit more darker light. I mean, try to. I forgot which one of the two for a sec. right around here. Okay, perfect. Oh wait, I forgot about up here. A little bit of some up here. Da-da-da-da-da. Perfect. Okay, good. I'm gonna make another layer, and now we're going to just put some emphasis on this top area. So usually these types of swords are shaded like this. I'm gonna use a watercolor blend for this one. We're gonna blend out this part of the sword. Are we on multiply or are we on? Yeah, we're on multiply, so I can't use the white that much. Like that. Boom, boom. Use again a dark gray. I'm gonna shade this part here. Put some more emphasis onto this. Give it some more shape. Perfect. Now it looks far more detailed. And now we do the handle. We should darken this spot in the bottom. Alright, now we shade the handle area. I'm just gonna make another layer for it. I'm just gonna put one very dark area. We're gonna fix it a bit with some light. Fix it like that. That's a dark squash there. Remember, we got some firm grips onto this. Then keep accidentally selecting the line. Like so. Boom, boom. Shade a little bit there. Now we add some light to it. This one needs to have a lot more emphasis on the light. The damn motorcycles, bro. So I'm gonna put a lot of light in these areas. Because now we're on the top area, we're getting closer to the light. We're gonna have some slight nudges here and there. Perfect. We're gonna have a little bit of some dark here. Perfect. Alright. I don't think we need to... Yeah, we still do. I'm gonna fuse it and then work on this bottom area of the sword. That part needs detail, but I can't do it now yet because I actually don't have a reference to see what kind of design I want to give the sword handle. I can't speak, but I'm not sure what design to give for the sheath of this sword here. I'm gonna have to look for a few references on which would look best. gonna darken it a little bit in the bottom. Right? We're just basically gonna do normal type of shading for it. You don't need anything crazy. Grab some white. Just add a little bit of it. Not a lot, no need to overdo it. Alright. Unselect it. Got another part finished. Kinda, sorta. We gotta erase this because I went a bit outside. Okay, yeah, we're gonna see a lot of white spots and stuff, but this all gets fixed more so in post than in current. Alright, I'm gonna change we're gonna go to some of the references I used for this. So specifically this one, because I need to know how I'm going to shade the central area and the chest area, so I'm going to have this reference onto this. But I guess I should shade the hair first. Hair or... Okay, I'm not sure. We'll find out. I'm gonna add a folder. So I'm gonna put all these in a folder. Hold on. In case it gets too big. We gotta have our layer fusion. This can save us some space when we get too much. Perfect. Alright. So let's go back. Let's do the hair. Which, speaking of, I didn't actually paint the ponytail aspect of the hair on this layer. I just did the front. Let's select it either way. Whoops, that's not. There we go. I'm gonna select it anyways. Doesn't overlap with almost anything, so perfect. Right, so how are we gonna shade this? Well, we don't need that much shading for the hair here. When the hair is white and there's light emitting to the hair, we can go with some very simple shading, very simple gradient. You don't need to go too overboard when it comes to white hair. I remember I used to hate shading white hair because it was always so bad, because it would always end up really muddy. And that's the thing about white hair. If you don't know how to do it, you're just gonna get a very muddy white. I'm gonna get a little bit of some gray, so because the gray is overlapping with this. Yep. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna lower the opacity just a little bit. I'm gonna reselect our gray again if we can. I'm gonna try and pick a little lighter one. And now we're gonna go not to the textured brush. Yeah, okay. We're gonna go to the textured brush. We're gonna put some more opacity on the textured brush. And we're gonna give some dimension to the hair. I'm gonna give it some depth real quick. We're just gonna do it very lightly. And another truck passed by. I'm gonna do it very lightly. Nothing too insane. Slightly. There we go. Okay. Gonna find the white again. The white will help us be able to sort of erase, in this case, any lines that just feel too much, too dark, even. Oh my god, I love this one. Okay. Just the accordion on this one. Oh my god. Right, perfect. It's not an accordion, isn't it? It has another name. I forgot what the name is. Right, perfect. Going to once again go. I'm gonna put some dark under this part of the hair because this is folded hair and this is overlapping. So it ends up being very necessary. So there we go. And we shade in it's on top of the eye, and we're just gonna make it translucent over the eyes because I kind of don't feel like painting on top of the eye. I feel like the eyes give it all personality, and so keeping them transparent is perfectly okay with me. Like a lot of people have, I don't know, icks when it comes to like, oh, the hair is on top of the eyes and you can see them. Ew. But I'm pretty okay with it. I actually feel like it can give the drawing a lot of very interesting flavor to it. I'll fold that up, please. Okay, no. Perfect. My eye itches. Okay. I'm gonna fuse it. I feel like now is a good time to. And then we're gonna add just a little bit, some shading here. There's a lot of lines and sketch on top of it, but we're gonna render over that as usual. Yeah, it looks pretty cool the way they are. Yeah, I agree. I feel like for the type of style it is, I feel like it covering the eyes just wouldn't really fit. I think it's just a perfect style. We're so close to. I think I won't be able to like add the color to it on the stream because honestly, this iPad is on the verge of dying. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm going to render like some of the other areas here, and then we're gonna try and end it there. I feel like a 2-hour average is pretty good for a stream. I don't. What do you guys think? Do you guys like them long, or do you guys prefer them to be like super short? Okay, gonna. This was fun and chill. Yeah, it's just a chill stream. I would love to make more art content when Honkai and stuff is slow. Like, of course, my content is gonna be mainly HSR, Genshin, but I really want to blend in more of my art aspects. Oh, this. Okay, hold on. Hold that thought. This is a banger. Okay, I'm sorry. This music is very distracting. I haven't heard some of these. What is this called? Confutatis. Isn't that literally just confused in Latin? That's what that means, doesn't it? What was I trying to say? Oh yeah. Yeah, I want to try and blend in more my art stuff with my Genshin, with my Honkai Star Rail sort of content, because sometimes the games get slow. There's just not much to post. Yeah, I could put some lore stuff, but those take a long time in planning, and I can't put on like a whole bunch of can't put up a bunch of videos of them like simultaneously. It takes so long to edit because I don't have proper devices for it. So I kind of just want to do more chill stuff when I have the chance. Especially recently, I gained such a big art audience out of nowhere because of the Sunday artwork, which is pretty crazy. Now it's my most viewed short, and it makes me happy. Prefer longer streams, and it was chill. Yeah, longer streams. Alright, I'll keep that in mind. I like your art stream. They are a good compliment. Yeah, it's a good for when things are slow. I do need to stream the Genshin Sumeru event soon, and also some Simulated Universe because of the new game mode. I have a lot of stuff from the new game mode that I really wanna do, but I just can't justify the time it takes to do Simulated Universe. So if I do it live, then I can justify the amount of time it takes. Simulated Universe is just a lot, but it's really fun, so I like it personally. Perfect. Alright. Let's see. Alright, I'm going to stop it here. I think now is a perfect. It's not finished, it's not even close. But I think it's a good time to stop. I need to put the iPad to charge to take a break. I'm not sure if I'll stream tomorrow or some other day. It'll depend. It'll depend what I have planned. Tomorrow maybe I could have a more finished artwork and paint it there. But yeah. Take a stretch out of that. Let's find once again the actual artwork we're using. This one. Thank you guys for stopping by. I appreciate all of you. It makes every time there's people talking in chat, it makes me happier. I always like interacting and talking, because sometimes just doing things quietly can be kind of boring. So I'll see you all next time. Let us meet again in some other universe. Bye bye. Keep it up. Thank you. Aliyah. I don't know how you pronounce your name, but thank you. I will. Thanks for stopping by.